Hello, everybody, and welcome to Dave's OddKast. Today's edition of Dave's OddKast, can't talk, is talking about addiction. And with me today is my friend Andy, who you might see on the Dave OddKast film nights.
Bonjour.
Bonjour. Now, we're going to talk about how Andy started his addiction, what happened during his addiction, and how he came out of it. So, Andy, how you doing,
Yes,
mate?
all right, mate. I'm a little bit apprehensive, actually. And it was weird, really, because it was me that mentioned doing this to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, don't worry. I'd like to start off by asking you, let's just dive straight into it. How did your addiction occur, and what were you addicted to, and how did it manifest itself?
Wow. I was addicted to cocaine. That was like my major addiction. I think I was addicted to other things like throughout my life, like weed and stuff like that. But cocaine was the one that really fucked me up. But that started when, I was going to say when I weren't seeing my kids every day, but in truth, it probably started getting towards it even before that, because I was, because I was unhappy and whatnot. And that was how it started. And it's naivety.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Naivety is addiction backdoor. You think, I'm not going to be an addict, not going to be an addict, not going to be an addict. Bang, you're an addict.
Do you think being an addict stems from, like, obviously deep-rooted problems that you had in the beginning? So at first you're going out partying, you're taking these drugs and stuff, you like the feeling of it. Would you say that would substitute kind of like a black hole you were feeling in the beginning? Just try to feel that kind of.
Yeah, maybe. When I got discharged from hospital, I looked at my notes, and my notes said self-medicating with cocaine. So now we've got now that we know, I've got a part of my brain, my hippocampus, that don't work properly. But I never knew if that was a before or an after thing, whether it, whether it happened.
So let's backtrack a second. So what happened was your problem got so bad you was admitted into hospital.
No. Well, yeah. But I got admitted into hospital, obviously, for trying to attempt suicide, but not for, obviously not directly cocaine, but thoroughly cocaine's fault. Well, my fault.
Yeah, but like the cause of it, like everything got on top of it, and you felt like you was ready to break. Is that when you decided to like kind of turn things around? Was it at that point, or was it later on?
That was on December the 17th of 2017, and then I come out in February, and I carried on for a few weeks, and then I went to this rehab place, and then I come back from there, and I carried on still for a couple of weeks, and then I don't know, have you ever given up fags before?
Yeah, tried to. Yeah.
Have you ever done it though?
No.
Well, because I've given up fags before. There just comes a point when you go, nah, I ain't doing it no more. Like giving up weed.
Yeah, I don't smoke weed anymore now.
You have to get to a point now, don't you, for it to.
Yeah. You have to get to a point where there's like a switch in your head, and it's kind of like, I don't actually want to do this anymore, because it's just it gets, even though mine was only weed, thank God, but it's still that kind of brain mechanism where it's like kind of, this is not helping me, and and all kinds of factors come into that. So around the time of your addiction, I mean, at its worst, how did it if you feel comfortable talking about this, how did it affect the people around you, mate?
I think, you know, my old dear, she, you know, she was fucking, soon as she found out, she was fucking with me. Not a fucking question. And, you know, when you're just trying to feed an addiction like that, it's so, it doesn't even enter, it didn't used to even enter my head what I'd be doing to my mum by borrowing money off her, and how she felt about getting her house raided, and, you know, all that shit.
Not the main priority was obtaining those drugs.
Yeah, and obviously, it was about 5 years, I think, I was like addicted for. So I used to go, my kids used to go to my mum's on a Friday and Saturday, and I'd stop with them, but I weren't there. You know, I was there, but I weren't fucking there.
Yeah.
I used to wake up at like fucking 11 o'clock in the morning. The girls had been up for hours, and I just missed it, and I missed having a dad for a few years, which is probably still to this day of the thing that I feel.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. At what point did you realise that you had a serious problem?
I don't think, right, to be honest, there was ever, I think I always knew it was there, and I think trying to say it weren't there would just be it's just like a denial thing.
Moving on to the next one.
Okie dokie, mate. Catch you later. See you in a bit. Yeah, what was the question?
So at what point did you realise that you know this was?
Oh yeah. So I think that was like a gradual kind of thing. I think it, I think, you know, I knew and that, and but I never like pointed it out to myself and said, you know, I can't remember one point saying, this is it, you've got a problem. There was plenty of points where I felt, you know, I just got into loads of debt.
Yeah, it caused problems,
yeah, spent all night doing it, and I thought to myself, I don't want to do this anymore, you know. But as far as like one specific point, I don't think there really was one, to be honest.
Was it like, you know, when you had those feelings of like, oh, I don't want to do this anymore, but then the next bump would get rid of that feeling?
Yeah, I think I used to wake up I used to go to sleep at about 5 o'clock in the morning, and then I'd get up at about 6:30 for work, and then that morning I would be convinced that I was not gonna take any cocaine that day. Convinced.
Yeah.
Come like 2 o'clock, just it was weird. It was just like my brain just went, oh yeah, we'll just get around. Like the morning that happened, like it weren't related.
Yeah.
It was it was weird, to be honest. It was just, there was no like no barrier saying.
Yeah, no barrier. It was just two different worlds.
Yeah.
So basically, you mentioned before that you went in hospital and stuff. Did you go into any rehab or anything like that to help you come off the drugs?
I did go into rehab. Well, to be fair, while I was in hospital, much as I am ashamed to say, I was still, you know, I was on watch. I weren't meant to go off site, but I still used to manage, even without a phone, without nothing. I still used to manage. I remembered numbers.
Yeah.
And I used to manage to get coke in there. And then I weren't allowed to go off site, but there was an off license. It's sort of like down a sort of driveway. You know where it is, the one by the Army Surplus store by Harborne and Selyoak. There's a little offie there, and I used to walk through the car park so no one would see me. And then down there, and then obviously because cocaine was scarce at times, I used to get like a flat bottle of vodka, and then I just used to drink that on my way back to my room.
Yeah. What was it? Was it the loss of inhibitions that
So,
you lost?
oh, and the rehab.
Say that again.
What's that? What did you say? Sorry.
Was it the loss of inhibitions that you craved? You just didn't want to be in a certain place, so you'd take certain things like alcohol, narcotics, and that just to escape that kind of frame of reality.
I don't know, Dave. I mean, I'll be honest, I just did it. I used to do it at the start, because I enjoyed it. I enjoyed smoking weed. I enjoyed taking pills. I enjoyed sniffing cat. All of these things I enjoyed for a certain amount of time until I realised that there was no enjoyment to be had anymore. And that's kind of the same thing that happened with cocaine, but it took longer to come to that realisation.
What was one of the worst situations you ended up in because of your addiction?
Oh, wow. Well, to be fair, the worst situation that I ended up in was obviously I said on 17th of December I tried to commit suicide. So what happened was it was Christmas and I was with a girl. No, she's actually one of my really good friends before we got together. So
yeah,
she had kids, I had kids, and then in like the start of December, I'd brought all my Christmas presents. I'd had a good month.
Yeah.
My Christmas presents I'd brought like my mum, my dad, my nan, and all her kids' Christmas presents. And I just sold everything that I could get my hands on. Everything. All the presents. My kids, her kids. How like people are like fucking, he'd sell his nan or for crack or whatever. That was fucking me. That's right. And then you got like some naivety at the time thinking that you're going to sell them and then you're going to get the money to get them back.
Yeah, it's like kind of telling yourself a lie, isn't it? It's it's all right, I can do this because then I can do this.
Yeah, so then I think, and then it got up to like the 17th. And on the 16th, my mum and dad was going to my brother's on the Sunday on the 17th. So on the 16th, I woke up in the morning and I thought, I'm going to kill myself tomorrow. And the reason I thought about it was because I knew my mum and dad would be at my brother's. So I knew that I'd have a house, that no one would be there. And I'd have use of a car because my mum and dad both had a car. And my dad drove. So I just, on the 16th, you can feel pain and you can feel happy. But by far the worst feeling I've ever fucking had was nothing. Nothing. That's what I felt. I was like a robot, mate. Honestly, it's fucking awful. And then I felt like a robot, and it was just like, you know what? This is what I'm gonna do. Yeah. So, that's a word of warning to anyone who feels depressed. You ever wake up in the morning and you feel fuck all, you really need to get out then. So then I planned it all out. I wrote out all my letters to everyone, and I made sure I had Sunday dinner because I wanted a nice fucking dinner to see me off. Yeah. And then I just drove my mum's car up to the Licky's car park, and I brought about 6 bottles of paracetamol, but you could only buy 2. I only wanted to buy 2 at a time because I'd heard that if you tried to buy more, they wouldn't give them yet. So I bought a little bottle of brandy and that big fat cigar, paracetamol, and then I just sat at the Lickies, and I'd heard and I'd read that if you if you take an overdose, go to hospital and they can pump your stomach, but if you take them in stages, like I took, I don't know, about 20 at about 2 o'clock, and then I took about 20 at 3 o'clock, and then I took about 20 at 4 o'clock. So then I just, I'd had some brandy, I'd had my cigar, and I was just lying. I was just in my mum's car, just zonked.
Yeah.
But I just like leaning on the door. But what I'd been doing was taking the packets of pills and throwing them on the dash. So I've thrown them on the dash, and obviously now there's like 10 packets of paracetamol on the dash.
Yeah.
And this guy opened the door. He's walking with his dog, and he's seen the things on there, and he's opened the door, and I sort of fell out. And I was like, oh, fuck. And then all of a sudden, like, it sort of hit me that I didn't want to be dead. And then I got myself to the hospital. I parked my mum's car in an ambulance bay. And then I was at the hospital, and fucking, I didn't have a phone. And my mum and dad and everyone had gone home and found the notes, the suicide notes. And then they rang the hospital and came. And that was the worst point of my life, actually, to be fair, yeah.
Yeah. Well, was it after that you decided to get help, or was it a little bit further down the line?
Well, like I say, I was hospitalised for all of January, and then I was in a psychiatric ward for I can't remember, about 3 weeks, a month, something like that. And then I come out and I carried on doing it. And then I went to rehab and I carried on doing it. And then, like I say, some of them just said, fuck this. And my brother Patty lives in Peterborough, and he was like, come to mine for a week. So I did, and I went there and I smashed alcohol for like 3 nights on the trot. And then I just woke up the 4th morning and I was like, oh no, fuck this, not doing this anymore. And that was it.
Yeah.
And that was no.
I think you talking about this and you opening up the way you do, where you are, and people can see you now. I know you personally, and I've and I see you now. I couldn't me knowing you now, like, because I never knew you when you had the drug problems, like and I'm not just saying this kissing your ass, mate. I'm being genuine. Like, you've come a long way, buddy. And at the end of the day, for all that you've been through, you make up for it for the person you are today. Now, this is the reason why I wanted to do the podcast, is because to me, mate, and to, I suspect, your family around you, I see you be a great dad to your kids. I see you, when you talk about your family, there's proper love there. And, the way you met your girlfriend happy. Now, this is the reason why I wanted to do the podcast, because you are a success story. Now, the thing is, there's a lot of people out there right now that, when you're in the abyss of depression or drug addiction, see, this is the thing, drug addiction is an illness, not a crime, and we need to stop treating it like a crime. Obviously, addicts commit crime to sustain their habits, but the whole attitude of drug addiction needs to change, because, a lot of us have that personality. I know I have that personality. I've been fortunate enough not to become an addict in one sense of the word. I had a problem with drinking in the sense of, as soon as I'd get money, I'd go to the pub, and then I'd spend all my money, and then I'd do all this, like, I'd lie to myself, yeah, I can do this because then I can, get money this way. And but it never got to the point of alcoholism with me. It was more of binge drinking. And the fact is, mate, even though you had those periods of
Doing.
feeling weak, and that, the most strong people, they've been through shit in their lives, you know what I mean? And you are a testament to that. Like, do you know what, mate? I'm proud to know you.
Yeah, thanks, Dave. I'm proud to know you as well. I think, to be fair, though,
I'm pretty great, but no, but
sorry, mate. I always struggled with people saying No, what you said, and it is true, it is a disease and that, but I always really struggled with that because I still struggle with it now because I think, yeah, it is a disease in most people. But as far as I can, I do think the blame for everything has to stop with me. It was me that did it.
Yeah, what I think is, mate, accountability is the first step, right? It was you that decided to take those drugs. It was you that did that. But at the end of the day, you know, for you to do that in the first place, it's not external, right? It's within. So I'm not a psychologist, but at the end of the day, a lot of people with addiction, yeah, we have addictive personalities. That's something within us, you know, that's something within us that we need to find the root of the problem. And mate, I admire you for being accountable, but at the same time, it's a thing where you can't always beat yourself up if you've come through it. Do you know what I mean? I don't agree with people playing the victim, then doing nothing about it, right? Accountability is cool, but you've also got to be kind to yourself because you know what, mate? If I was in that position, I don't know whether I'd be strong enough to get out. So that's testament to your strength. Do you get what I mean? And like you must have had, whether you realised it or not, just the fact that we like to go out because we enjoy it. Yeah, because we like to be away from reality and things where that is an underlying issue there. Do you know what I mean? I'm not saying that Andy takes drugs because he's miserable in life, poor Andy and everything. I'm not saying that.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is there had to be something there in the first place for you to manifest that behavior. And you, mate, you deal with your shit every day. You're stronger than most people who I know. Yeah, you deal with it every day. And how many days have you been sober now, mate?
I want to say 1024.
Cool.
This is cool. This is fucking cool. I was happy about that, to be fair.
That is cool, man. And it's kind of like, yeah, and I see the way that you are with your kids, and they see that as well. I'm sure, how far you've come, and the person you are naturally, not the person that you've become, the problem that you've overcome, and you've come back to yourself. You know what I mean? Like, we all struggle from day to day, but the thing is, you're honest with it. You let people know when you feel a certain way. You do not put that on other people. And I admire that, mate. I admire it.
Yeah. Yeah. I do try and be as good as I can now. I was always a really nice person, actually. Before I started taking drugs, I was always really, really fucking nice. Always went out of my way to help people. And then I had a few years, obviously, when I took the piece. And then now I'm right again.
It's like with me, mate. Like, because now and again I do have a drink, but I never binge drink like I used to. Because every time I'd get so drunk, I'd become a totally different person, and I'd get nasty and horrible human being I was when I was at a certain point of drunk. I remember, like, every time I'd drink or go out and get smashed, do drugs, whatever, I'd do it to get wasted. But when I was wasted, like, I remember one time, like, I used to drink whiskey, and whiskey's really bad for me. So I used to drink whiskey, but I'd never just have a couple. I'd buy a whole bottle. I'd buy a whole bottle, especially at house parties, and I'd drink it, drink it, drink it. Before I know it, mate, I'd be crying in the living room, in the middle of the living room floor, cursing everybody, calling people slags, nasty names, and everything. And that was part of my reasoning to, like, hold on, man, I've got to cool this down because I'm just hurting people so much. And that was my motivation at first. You know what I mean? And it was kind of like I used to hate waking up thinking, what have I done now? Because everything would be a haze. and then I'd hurt people like my friends, my family, my mom, you know. And you know, I remember like when I lived back at home for a bit, I used to come in and I used to be aggressive, like not physically, but I can be very nasty with my mouth. And that was a turning point for me, is that I don't want to be that person, because half the stuff I don't even remember saying it. But if I'm saying it, yeah, there must be a deep recess in my brain where, that person is in me, and I don't want to see that guy again.
Yeah, fuck that person.
No, and it's just, I, I think what it is as well, it's the culture that surrounds not just drink, but everything. Like, go out and party, get wasted. I remember, yeah, right. I went to uni, right? Went to uni, yeah. Went to Wolves Uni. I'll call them out. I remember, yeah, going in the lecture halls, yeah. Right, in the corridor, there'd be posters for like Jaeger bombs, like get free Jaeger bombs for £1, and that was on the way to my lecture hall. Man, no wonder these posh kids end up with problems and that, though. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
and it's just this whole culture of like, it's all right, get wasted, we'll worry about it the day after. But you know what? I think it's a lot of people that have a lot of problems today, and it's not like it's only just happened. The thing is, people have only just started talking about it properly.
Yeah, that's it.
And that's what it is. Nothing's changed like since 1940, especially with men, the way men feel with emotions and stuff like that. Because like a lot of us, yeah, we have this thing of like, we've got to keep it in. Men have got to have a stiff upper lip. Not so much now, but there's still an element of that. You know what I mean? And nowadays, like, people are just talking about it more, People are still going through it. The highest rate of suicides is in men.
Yeah, this is true. Dave, we're going to have to cut it short because I'm going to get back to work.
Well, it's been a great podcast, mate, and thank you for doing this. And
should we call that part 1, and then we can talk about like when we used to get wrecked again.
And say that again.
Should we call that part 1, and we can just talk about when we used to get wrecked?
Call it part 1, mate. We can have part 2, part 3, part 64. If you ever want to do this again, and we'll have a follow-up story where if you feel more comfortable to go in depth. And,
yeah, let's do that.
We'll do that. We can do a part 2. And Andy, I'd just like to end this to say, like, I'm really proud of you. Your family's really proud of you. Your girlfriend's really proud of you. And mate, just carry on what you're doing, man.
Yeah,
carry on
thanks.
what you're doing. Yeah.
I will see you next time.
I will see you next time, brother.
See you in a bit, mate. Yeah.
See you in a bit,
Take
buddy.
it easy. Thanks,
Bye-bye.
mate.
Bye-bye. No worries. All right, let's end this.